Welcome everybody. My name is Sarah. I'm from MiCare. I am the project coordinator for preventing family violence. Here with me today, I have my fellow power women. I have Sylvia from the Fijian Community Association Victoria. I have my other friend Lilian from the Burundi Cultural Ladies. I have Faduma representing the Somali women of Southeast Melbourne. And last but not least, I have my other fellow good friend Teresa from the African Women and Families Network. I'd first like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we stand on today, the peoples of the Kulin Nation. I also like to pay my respects to the elders past and present. Today, here with me is for the 16 Days of Activism. This is an event that happens every year, and it is designed to bring together not just individuals, but communities like ourselves in the prevention of gender-based violence. We want to be able to promote gender equality and respect for all, because we know that in preventing family violence, it all starts with respect. Together we can, together we rise. And I'd like to hand over to my fellow power woman, Lilian from the Burundi Cultural Ladies, to talk about what respect means to her and in her community. Thank you, Lilian.
As Sarah mentioned, my name is Liliana Kimana. I am the secretary of the Burundian Cultural Ladies in Victoria. I've joined the other ladies in the 16 days of activism because I'm passionate about peace and equality. I am a woman of color. I am a mother. I am a wife. I represent African ladies in my community, in my continent, and in my adopted countries. I am passionate about peace and equality. I think that every person needs to be treated with respect, needs to be loved. For me, respect is about respecting oneself, knowing that you are good, you are with respect and you are worthy. Once you know that, you will not allow anybody to treat you unfairly.
When you are worthy, you know that you only give some. For example, myself, I know that I'm a caring person. I love people. No one can take away that from me. I would encourage every person to try to get some time to think about who they are and what are the gifts they have. The other important aspect that I would like to say into this forum is about surround yourself with important people who are genuine. That's the people around me here. Just with the full respect of these amazing women are next to me here. So they encourage me, and that's really, really important and play a big part in my self-worthy, in my self-esteem. Just really, I would encourage every woman to really surround yourself with good people. The other aspect of respecting oneself is really looking after yourself. In my culture, from Burundian community, we've got different practices. Some of the practices we do is maybe Christianity, it could be Muslim, just really having some form of faith. Myself personally, I enjoy going for a walk, spending some time with my family. I love gardening, so that's really a part of care that I do that allow me to respect myself, respect who you are. Because I know that once I respect myself, I love myself, I should be able to give the love and the respect to others, because let's face it, we cannot give what we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Very wise words.
That's good.
Bula Vinaka and namaste everyone. My name is Sylvia Koo, and I'm from the Fijian Community Association of Victoria. We are a multicultural organization where our head office space is in Melbourne West, but we have a lot of our members based in the southeastern suburbs and also in the western suburbs and also in regional Victoria. Why am I interested in this project? I'm really interested in this project because this is about respect. And it's respect for all, respecting for others, respecting for oneself, respect for women and men and children. It's one of the values that we hold dear, not only to our cultures, It's a value that we hold dear to our own families and in our own community organizations. I'm pretty sure that a lot of community organizations have respect as one of their values. And to me, respect is respecting others. I think we, at the start, did one very important thing. We respected the traditional custodians of the land. And that's one of the ultimate respect that you can do for someone when you're on someone's land. Just as you respect someone when you go to someone's house, someone's community group for the first time, as multicultural people, the values that we were taught at a very young age, usually from our parents, and usually it's from your mother or your grandmother, those values stick with us. Some of us, we've held it dear to our hearts all throughout our lives, and some of us, I suppose, have lost that along the way. And as community leaders, we try to bring back those values, and we try to bring that back so that we can all become effective members of community. How we show respect to others, I believe there's certain qualities that you need to have. You need to actively listen. And now I notice one thing, we've gone in a COVID environment to an environment where everything's on Zoom. You can see a lot of people with cameras off. You can see a lot of people, the speakers speaking, and people are, not actively listening. Because unfortunately, not always due to their fault, a lot of people are multitasking, right? You're in 3 Zooms. As community leaders, you're in 3 Zooms. You've got one on mute, one on loud, and one you've got in the background somewhere. And one of the things about actively listening as a community leader is, or as a parent, a mother, or a woman, is you listen without judgment and preconceptions. Because as community leaders, we're meant to be, we've set up as the pillars in our group. And sometimes when we are encountered with difficult conversations, sometimes we require knowledge, and that can cloud our judgment on someone trying to disclose something to us. Actively listening means caring. Actively listening means really, watching your body language, that you're open, you're not sitting there with your hands, your hands are folded, you're not frowning, you're smiling, you're nodding, you're giving them reassurance. Another one is showing support through positive words and actions. So when you respect others, I'll give an example. Like, for example, someone in your committee, their parent has passed away, and you've just heard the news, and so have a few members in your community. You show support with positive words and actions. And one of the ways we do it in the Fijian culture is we collect what little money we have, and we give that as a financial support to go towards the funeral. Because everyone is struggling, everyone has bills to pay and things, but we show support. We don't just say, my condolences, your parent, your relative who passed away. I'll keep you in my prayers. Because see, a lot of people say that, I'll pray for you. I'll keep you in your prayers. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I also went through that. But as community leaders, as women, as mothers, positive words and actions. You also show support by not blaming, not judging the person. So as they're telling you their story, or as they're disclosing something private, for example, if there's domestic violence in the house, you're not saying stuff like, oh, well, you've been going out every night, I see it in social media, you shouldn't have said that, or you should have done that. Maybe you should have, so you're already blaming and judging the situation. Another one is being empathetic towards others. And that means, that's just a fancy word to say that put yourself in that person's shoes. So often you hear stories of, women saying, you might have come from a much more, a wealthier background. Then you hear someone that's struggling, someone who's working 2 or 3 jobs, and all of a sudden they've lost those jobs because of COVID. They might have been in the hospitality industry, they might have been in construction, and they were affected by the restrictions. So you got to put yourself in their shoes. When they come to you, when they speak to you, when they need help, you're actually saying, you know what, you don't have income. You are not eligible for income because you are undocumented, you don't have visa, you know, and I'm going to help you, and I'm going to help you by getting community together to see if we can give you some food, we can give you some assistance, you know, whether it be financial or if you need something for your children. So being empathetic towards others is one of the ways you show respect. Another one is providing acts of kindness without hidden agendas. And I'm a Christian. I was raised a Christian, and I had that acts of kindness is from, you know, it's instilled in our Christian upbringing. But I'm pretty sure it's in every other religion. You know, you provide acts of kindness without wanting something back from the other person. But so often this world has become a little bit selfish. It means if I do something for you, you're going to do something for me. You know, and this sometimes even happens in the home. Like your kids, can you put the bin out? Oh, what am I going to, how much are you going to pay me? You know, and I have to resist myself by saying something like, how about I give you a slap? But I can't say that, because now if you say that, oh no, I'm going to ring this certain number and I'm going to tell my mom's threatening me. But I must say, with all the different faiths we have, and I'm pretty sure we're all of different faiths at this table, they all say the same thing, that you show kindness to everyone, that you love others like you love yourself, and that's talking about self-love, and I believe Lillian talked about it earlier, and it's about respecting yourself. And so when you provide acts of kindness without hidden agendas, you're actually, you know, you feel better, because nothing worse when you do something for someone who goes, all right, I spent $100 on groceries on a person. I'm expecting $100 worth back in either a favor, you know, something later in the life, because you know what? And you know who's the worst? Family. Family do that to you, not random people. Family. I helped you fix your kettle. You know, when are you going to help me do this? And lastly, respect is respecting others, is being polite and mindful of cultural norms. And, you know, Australia is such a lovely country, and I think a lot of people, you know, some people have come here as refugees, some have just come as migrants. Unfortunately, I came here as an international student, and unfortunately, I did overstay. So I was one of the naughty ones, and I did get sent back to my homeland in Fiji for almost like a unwanted detention. And I did come back to Australia. But one of the things about being polite and mindful of cultural norms is, because you never know what culture someone is, please do not assume just because you see an African person that they are Muslim. Don't assume that they are Christian. Don't assume. Because some people are either with religion or without religion, you know, and that's still okay. We still respect those people, you know, and that's the upbringing. And this is, I go back to one of the core fundamentals is how we've been raised by our parents. And who raises the kids? It's normally a female figure. It's normally a mother, a grandmother, you know, an auntie. It's normally that person that does that. And being mindful of cultural norms as community leaders, we're going to be mindful that when we go get invited to other community groups, do a little bit of research of what the cultural norm is. You know, for example, I'll give you an example for Pacifica community. If we had a meeting of a gathering of leaders, because we are predominantly Christian, the first thing we do before any meeting is prayer at the start, Christian prayer, and then a prayer at the end, because we involve God in everything we do. And I'm pretty sure other cultures do similar type of things in their own faith. As a mother, you're aware also of cultural norms, and as a parent and as a woman, you know, like for example, how we dress, how we wear our clothes in church, in cultural settings, and as a woman, you know, like being raised in Fiji, I was raised there for 18 years, and you know, my mom taught me how to dress, you know, how to you know, be a woman in front of other people, in front of men, and it's being respectful. Because going back to what Lillian said is, once you are polite and mindful of other cultures, you're actually respecting yourself towards the end. And yeah, so I'm really excited about this project.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Fatuma Musa. I'm from Somaliland. Somaliland is one country, Somalia, but they've been divided because Somalia and Somaliland used to be under the British, so it's British colony. Somalia is Italian colony, but they came together in 1960, so they become one country, and again they've been separated. So I'm from Somaliland, but I've been also to the south. I have been working for the last 20 years with Monash Health, especially with a program called FARAB. FARAB stands for Family Reproductive Rights Education Program, and with the program is comeback of FGMC. FGMC stands for female genital mutilation or female genital circumcision. Sorry. So the works under family violence, as it involves harm. For the last 10 years, I have been working with Awafani. Awafani is also African Women Families Network, and Teresa is our manager or our president. So we've been working with different community, not large community, west, south, east. So we are a small organization, non-profit, but we do a lot of work with the community. We work with youth, we work with women, with whole family. So we do a large work, which we are all volunteers. I have been involved in this fight against FGM because FGM is family, again, it's a family violence because it harms children. So I've been part of this for the last 20 years, trying to educate the community not to practice FGM, especially in Australia. So community planning, maybe when they come here first, they may take children back in Africa or Asia and do the practice. But as a workers, we plan, we have to stop this. So DHS started this project in 1997. But I joined the program in 1995. I think now 2001, that's when I started working with the project. So I have been, respect is being an active bystander. So, and there's a ways accomplishing, and this is including when I see an issue outside of my control, I involve always the authorities because they have the skills and they can solve this problem if it's out of my hand, and which is maybe bigger than what I can do. So always I try to involve authorities to ease this and fix this. When I see a people making comments that are sexist or disrespect for women, I am the first person to stand up. So always I stand up and make sure if it's women or men, whoever be disrespect, I always try my best to do what I can do. When I see a spouse who is outwardly aggressive to their partner, that's when I also try to stop both of them if I can. Otherwise, I try to find help outside of me, because maybe if this person is so aggressive and I can't do, so always I try to find help as soon as possible. When I see an issue in the community regards women or men, someone who's been abused or been targeted, I always try to take this to the community. I always try to take to the elderly because we have a culture in the community. If there's a problem in the community or someone is been harassing women or man has been, in this problem, we try as a community to try to solve this problem before we take it to authorities. So always there's the elderly people who always try to fix this because we have a culture, we have a religion, we are a Muslim, Christian, always everyone has a culture, and there's always a respect. So as a community, if there is a big issue, we always try to see the elderly or the community. If we cannot fix this, that's when we go to the authority. But always the respect is very important in my culture. Especially we have to respect elderly people, we have to respect women, we have to respect men, we have to respect youth. So everybody needs respect. So respect is something that's very important in every community. And people have culture, especially we have very strong culture as African and as you say, Fijian, and many countries, they have culture which they actually use and respect each other. So if anything happens, like me, I'm just one of the elderly in the southeast. So if anything happens, they come to me. If someone is sick, they call me. We can support. Like as Sylvia say, if someone dies in the community, we don't have just to say hello. We have to support that person. We have to get something for them and look after them. Especially as a Muslim, there is 3 days. We always do the cooking for that family. If they lost someone, we have to do cooking, feeding them for 3 days. So after 3 days, they can go with their lives. But always there's a support as a culturally, and you have to support anyone who needs help. There's a lot of young moms in this area, especially in the Southwest. I just maybe like a mother to them. They come to me when they have a problem. They call me. There's a family violence in the community. So there's a young moms who have came just alone here. So when they have problem, they come to me. And they call me even middle of the night. Although I have my own family. I have a big family. I have my children, I have my grandchildren. But still, also, I do help a lot of young moms. And they call me mom. I'm quite very happy. That's a bliss. And I just feel blessing. There is an issue, I come, maybe sometimes call middle of the night, I'll call Teresa, this young girl have a problem, what can we do? And she's always actually been great, be there also for them. So respect is very important in our culture actually, as a community, and I'm blessing. I also do a lot of work with the community, and I'm a hard worker, I work with the community, I do a lot of things, so I'm always there. So if anything, your area, people from my community who speak my language, just send them to me.
Thank you. My name is Teresa Sengaga Sai. I come from Uganda, and I belong to the Baganda tribe, which is one of the tribes in Uganda. We have more than 36 tribes. I'm co-founder of African and Families Network, which supports the community, especially African communities and small cards, which they call cultural and linguistic background. We provide social support, welfare, relationship building, and my Fatuma Musa, who is here, she is my vice president. And we started this organization just to support the families and the community, especially within Australia, in a new country for everybody, and people have a lot of issues. And we being elders, we tend to get a lot of inquiries, and African humanities. It is not only its membership. It is not only Africans. It has even other communities, and because we don't focus on one community or on one service, people tend to come to us with the various needs and issues. I have coordinated a number of projects, including one of the recent ones, strengthening African communities' capacity in the prevention of family violence. And with that project, 30 community members were trained to practice respectful relationships within their family, within the extended family, and also within the community. Why I joined this project is that together we can. And also, it is a group where we share values and a passion for gender equality. And with all with respectful communication that is practiced in different ways in different cultures. In my Ugandan culture, to show some respect or an elder, it is said, nkusaamu ekitiibwa, with gesture, with nkusaamu ekitiibwa ssebo, that's a man, nkusaamu ekitiibwa nnyabo, that's a woman. And also when we meet people, we show respect according to whether they are elders, if they are kings, they have different signs of gestures, signs, and the body language is very important in any culture, and the tone of the voice. So respectful communication, it is not just only verbal, but also the body language, the expression of the eyes, and also say in my culture, the way how when we practice respect to an elder or a youth, and it is, we should be respecting communication should be practiced with everybody with equal. When you communicate with each other in a respectful way, so that as we parents, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and also I have intercultural marriages. So the way respectful communication for everybody, for different cultures, for different in-laws, and the way how we promote the respect, it is by action. If you communicate in abusive language, there's no, the relationship can't develop. People should treat people or communicate with people and treat people with care and empathy, and treat them the way you would be like to be treated. None should be superior. We should value each other's opinion, each other's comments. People have different abilities and skills. So respect each person and communicate with them with respect, and don't interrupt when they are talking. Just listen, affirm, or if you have an opinion, give it in a respectful way. That's what they call constructive feedback or criticism. Communicate. How can we keep our families and communities together? By communicating with action, respecting each other, and also if we community leaders, if you are going to come to talk to the community, be mindful and thoughtful of the different levels of maybe education, culture. Say I could take the African community, it is diverse communities, and they have diverse abilities and skills. So you have to be mindful how you communicate with the people, what type of, listen to them, give them space to express themselves. Also be mindful of the different cultures and even tones, and sometimes, and also a sense of humor with some of the communities. I find when with the Burundians, I don't I speak a bit of very Kirundi, but even a few words in Kirundi as Mulabeho, I find it means sort of a way of belonging and a way of what is it called? Addressing or for that community. And I think also I've worked in Australia for over 30 years, working with different communities and groups. The way you communicate with the people, positive communication. So I was working at one of the migrant resource centers, and even the people from Afghan, Croatia, they used to come and want to see me, or just you greet them with a smile, and that's And I think that's the strength of the African Women and Families Network, that we respect each other and we communicate with each other, and everybody, because we have Muslims, we have Christians, we have all faith, and that's our motto. So when we are mindful, so when we have gatherings, I always make sure we have halal meat, because you never know. It is not the religion or the practice which marks on people's head, but it is sort of the respecting each other. And I think together we can promote gender equality and have a better society, which is we are all striving for.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Definitely, yeah. Again, so many wise words, and today I'd like to end off by saying that I feel very thankful to be surrounded by such strong women, and not just strong women, but women of so many different faiths and so many different ethnic backgrounds. I do believe that together, this is our strength there.
We can.
Yeah, we can together. Alone, I am just one voice, but with all of you, there are so many voices in which we've all heard how there are just so many little ways in which respect can be promoted within our communities, within ourselves, and just, within our own faiths and so forth there. So definitely, together we can, and together we rise, and I hope that you all be joining me, well into the future, to keep celebrating our strengths together.